Okay, we're being. I'd like to make a motion to open the May 4th, 2023 New Paltz Town Board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, We fix the camera here.
We don't think it's gonna start here. Oh, I think it's something else.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Announcements, there'll be a rabies clinic for dogs and cats held Wednesday, May 10th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Town Highway Garage, 52 Clearwater Road. Vaccinations for rabies are $15 each and will be administered by Dr. Lori Stein, traveling veterinarian. Heartworm medication is also available. Rabies certificates will be presented at the completion of the vaccination. These certificates are essential for licensing dogs where they reside as required by New York State law. And then also this year, we're happy to announce that pool memberships will be offered online. So community members will be able to use a link on the town's website to access pool membership applications. And payment page. And to assist in this, there's going to be 2 sign-up sessions on the evenings of May 16th and 18th at Town Hall, where staff members will be kind of walking through people how to do it if they're interested. There'll be an early bird sign-up discount for all members who sign up online prior to May 20th and or at the sign up at nights at Town Hall. So we'll have more details going forward. And any other announcements?
I have one from the Ulster County Beekeeping Association. It is honeybee swarm time. And from what I gather, because there was a warm winter, the honeybee swarms are really active. So we will have a honeybee swarm removal list of people that you can call if you see one, so they can come and get it and put it into people's boxes. I wish I was more precise. I'm sure they're gonna be like, that's not how you say it, but is there a way we can maybe put it on the town site?
Put it on the website.
Put it on the website.
Okay.
So if folks want, you see a swarm, look on the website and these wonderful people will come and turn it into honey.
I had an announcement as well, if it works. So I've been talking to Supervisor Patez about this, but I did just want to announce that my intention is to step down from the town board in the next few weeks / months. It's for professional reasons. I recently took a new job, which has a significant amount of responsibilities, and those responsibilities have recently changed in a good way as well too. And I've really enjoyed serving here. It's been almost 10 years actually in this role. Really specifically enjoyed serving with you, Neil, and of course, Julie and Alex and some of my previous colleagues as well too. But I want to make sure that there is someone who will be able to fully focus on this kind of role and who also wants to step up and serve our community. And while I could continue to do this, I don't think I can still give it the same amount of time that I would feel comfortable doing to then also collect a paycheck for the town of New Paltz. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer, and I just want to work with supervisor to set up a time where I think that makes the most sense for people to do that. But I did just want to be transparent that that is something I'm looking to do soon, and also say just from a process standpoint, when I do choose to step down formally, it will create a vacancy. So if there is someone interested in serving in the town board, that'll be a decision of the individuals over here who that is. But it would create a vacancy to serve out for a part of the remainder of my term to eventually have a special election, which would be held next year as well. So I'll definitely have more to say on that later, but I don't want to take up more time in the meeting other than I just wanted to let you all know it's been a pleasure to serve for about a decade, and it's going to continue to be a pleasure for a few more weeks at least as well too.
And we're going to miss you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were a fixture.
Anything else?
No, sorry.
I'm sure we'll be talking more about this.
We'll talk more about it. Just wanted
But,
to.
So with that, we're gonna open up the room for public input comments. If people have comments, sign up, can come up here. We try to keep them to 3 minutes. But we want to make sure everyone's heard. So feel free to keep it short, but make sure you don't feel like we're shutting anyone off. And there is no one online. And so if anyone has comments, they're more than welcome to come up.
So hi, my name is Delaney Taliaferro. For those who don't know me, I recently, kind of like haphazardly, I came into the role of the farmers market manager for New Paltz. And so I'm in like the process of trying to find like vendors and music and like all those things. But I guess, so there's a couple of things and I will try to make it short and sweet. So the application that we have right now, it's on, I think it's on Google.
Okay.
And I didn't know, because I'm just trying to figure out like what legally I have to do and also what I need to do as a farmer's market manager. I've been working on my father's farm for a lot of years. But now I'm really fully invested in it and also putting myself as a market manager. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything to make sure that we have a successful market, especially as a farmer. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Just making sure that farmers are seen and heard in the community. So I guess kind of a few of the things, and I don't even know if you guys have access to this stuff. But just like the website, I did do coding a little bit and but I didn't know if there was like an FTP access that I needed, like a control panel access. I didn't know what the domain was for it. And I don't really know who to even ask.
I don't know anything about that, but I don't,
Yeah.
you know, is this too, so is this in the farmer's market in the village or you're bringing a new one?
No, in the village. This is the current farmer's market that's already
Mhm.
here, that they started. I think the assistant to the mayor was one of the market managers, and then it went to Alana, who was the market manager. And then it was like kind of with this gentleman named Will for like a couple of months, but it unfortunately went a little bit downhill. And I think he's also a farmer, so I think he just, put a little bit more on his plate than he thought he was.
And we're not involved at all, I think, as the town. So
Okay.
this would be, contact the village. clerk
Contact the village,
and
okay.
probably the code officer or the assistant to the mayor, they probably know.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing that we could do is just, once you have it all up and running, happy to
Mhm.
help you, let people know that it's there.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
think, supporting local agriculture is.
Especially like
Yeah.
our Facebook page
Yeah.
and our website.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
happy to
Okay.
support, definitely, like, once you have that, feel free to come back and
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to us about. how we
Yeah,
can help
no,
you.
I honestly didn't even know where to start, so. I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, I guess then I'll contact them. You said the village?
Yeah, I mean, if you have, you have an email address?
Yes, I
If you
do.
give it to me, I'll
Okay.
send an email connecting the two of you. and
Okay,
then
perfect.
you can reach out to them and set up an appointment.
Yeah, no, that would be great. It would
Sure.
be very helpful.
Yeah. Just
Well,
write it down and.
yeah, no, I can write it down.
Do we have any other comments? No, if not, we have an announcement, the Eco Action Award.
Yes,
Yeah, you're welcome to come up to the table.
okay,
I mean, you can sit here.
okay. It just is that, it's that the town is getting awarded with an Eco Action Award. It is granted by the association, the statewide association, CCANY. And it's, part of what you guys have done. I mean, it's completely remarkable. In purchasing now it's 50% because there just is not enough renewables in the state to do otherwise. It was 100%. And we do believe that as we grow with the program, we'll be able to spark new renewable generation with direct contracts. It's a phase of the program that I think it's a time for us to shortly enter. But you've also reduced your carbon footprint by 22% just with the one action of signing the contract on behalf of folks. And at the same time, you're stabilizing people's rates so they're not exposed to volatile rates. And you stayed despite the challenge with the last supplier. But you know that you should know that CCA in 2021 purchased literally 34% of the entire renewable consumption in New York State.
Wow.
And you were leader and have been leader in that. And this year, it is expected to be 40% of the entire state. The entire legacy renewable power industry is resting on what you guys are doing here. So now it's time for us to start creating some more. But in addition, some of the some of the reasons that in addition to that you guys are such a leader, I mean, you have the farmland preservation plan, you have an open space plan. And that's not just protecting environmental natural resources, but environmentally sensitive areas. The community greenhouse inventory, the climate vulnerability assessment. You've been planning and proposing and trying to figure out the solar project for the landfill and even the repair cafes since 2013. You guys have been a remarkable actor with respect to ecological action. And so you are being awarded for it May 18th in New Paltz.
There's gonna be a ceremony here.
Is that where it's gonna be?
Yeah,
You
right
know
here.
better than I.
Yep, we're gonna have it here. I think it's 11 o'clock.
Great.
I could look it up, but we'll have an announcement on the webpage. But yeah, no, we appreciate it. And we look forward to continuing to work together on this. And just so if you have the rough update for where things are going to be moving forward with the CCA, right? We're gonna.
Yeah, July 1st is when the contract is reintroduced. Letters will be going out soon, I think very shortly. Which then gets you back to the renewable purchases and the price protection.
Because people are, Central Hudson rates are starting to jump around again, and people, I've been getting inquiries, people are like, well, when can we lock our rates in again?
Now you can tell them July.
And I say,
July 1st.
pay attention, we're gonna be having public meetings soon, people are gonna be able to find out more about it, but just so if anyone is wondering or listening, it's gonna be rolling out again this summer, and people are gonna have the ability to lock their electricity rates in for 2 years.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and you saw how effective it was last time. And you saw that the company dealt, shall we say, not terribly ethically. I think I could say that. But nonetheless, we are back in and you have fixed residence rates again. And they are free to get out at no penalty, get in without paying anything at any time over the course of the contract. You guys have deserved this. You deserve this.
Well, thanks.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
What was do you happen to know offhand, the opt-out a percentage of New Paltz residents that opted out?
I don't know. We'll get it for you. I would say it's somewhere between 10 and 15%, but we can get you a precise number.
I was really hoping that we could be as clear as possible to, the residents about what their options are
Mhm.
and what the rates would be, just so they can really make an informed decision and just to advertise and along with, the success, I think. Maybe we could, is it possible I can contact you and we could work together and
Yes,
on
absolutely.
this? Okay, I would love that. And because there's more, you had an incredible list. I felt so proud, except, probably sat a little taller, but, and that's all we all should. And, having the support from the community is a huge part of that. If people were knocking on our doors saying, stop doing that, it's awful, then we would probably do that. So there are more things that, that could be on that list. Oh, yeah.
So
I got
let's make
lost.
sure that they are included
Yeah,
in the 18th.
like
on
if
the
we're
18th.
talking, just. If we're talking just eco-friendly,
Mhm.
things like the, even just the gateway rezoning where we tried anyways to have, density. Where
Mhm.
people were living above businesses and we stood firm on the lack of a drive-through,
Mhm.
which is a huge. Boon for the environment
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
there's not a tree buffer. Very much anyways between that place where there could have been sort of a throughway rest stop where, people would be waiting in line for for their drive-through food
Mhm.
and just, making a horrible traffic hazard, probably right onto 299.
Oh.
And instead, we stood firm and that is not allowed to happen right at that location. But there are people who live in apartments very close where there isn't a big buffer of trees that would have. They're already getting accosted by the throughway exhaust.
Mhm.
And now this would have been something more for humans, it's an eco justice issue. So I just, I think that's a big,
We're the only
big win.
town that accepts food waste at our transfer station. So for
Mhm.
free, as you know, when you bring your recycling in, you can also drop your food waste off, which is about 20 or 30% of your waste.
Uh-huh.
And then we compost it and it doesn't go into the landfill and create methane.
And we have an incredibly passionate person who I just talked with, Mike at the landfill.
Mhm.
He is just all about, he's coming up with different ways to effectively, compost. Using thermal, and create energy, I think even.
Yeah, we got a
Um,
DEC grant to
yeah.
help us
Mhm.
put some
Right.
solar panels and run the aerators and stuff. So yeah, I think it's good to maybe make sure we point these things out.
Mhm.
Even the HW Dubois, bike trail is gonna make fewer people
Mhm.
get in their cars. They're gonna get in their bikes and they're gonna walk.
So first of all, my number is 914.
You can give it to
Who
us
has a
afterwards.
pen
too, if you don't want
nowadays?
it- If you don't want it on the
282-7000. I have no problem with that. Happy
Thanks
to
for
work
that.
with you. And then the one who's going to be effective beyond me in working with you is going to be, so I will connect you as
Yeah.
well with Peggy Kurtz, who will actually make sure that these things are recognized
Well,
on the 11th.
Mhm.
And then, of course, there was something else I was gonna say, but it has flown
sorry.
the brain.
That's okay.
All right.
Well, I appreciate
Yeah, thank you.
your coming and making the announcement. So people are interested in coming, they can join us and we'll post it on the website.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Right, thanks.
Pleasure. It has been a pleasure working. with
Good.
you. So you will connect.
Yeah.
Mike,
Mike,
Mike Gordon. Ciao, guys. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Make a motion to go into executive session and we'd like to bring Jean in with us.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Right.
I don't know if you were gonna bounce or not. Yeah, cool. But yeah, if you need anything at all, yep.
Did what I could do in the time I had, so. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're gonna be.
Well, are you gonna have a little get together?
No, not this year. I don't have time for it. I want to so bad, but all the stuff that yeah, because my business partner's left and everything, so now it's just me.
Awesome.
Yes.
You and the fam. Good help, hard to find.
I tried,
Yeah,
but I
it is.
don't have to use much, but yeah.
Good stuff with it. All right.
Actually, didn't have to do anything, but I still need him. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Bye. But I can see.
Of course.
No, I was just.
Yeah, no, I have to file for one myself.
So.
I was with that one, yeah, but I'm used also.
I don't know.
It's like,
Useful work.
yeah, I'm like, I'm doing that. You know, I have so many friends, it's not gonna. you know, I'd rather die and dry down,
Well,
you know, than,
that's the help of you.
yeah, exactly.
Be there for less than 20 minutes.
But now I'm figuring. So, like, you know, next, that kind of. Routine, like, it's not gonna be a big deal, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't know that. And then you-
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure. His time and his time. Are you thinking?
Yeah, both my kids are there, so my daughter's getting married and we're looking at, you know, starting family soon, so we're thinking next year, so. My son is in Charlotte, my daughter's in Belmont, so which is just over the river.
So it's, yeah, you're in the Charlotte area.
So we're looking, you know, we're looking west of Charlotte.
And because there's a bunch of really cool spots.
Oh, there's some,
How's about it?
I mean, I like Mount Holly, I like Clarksville, I like all those areas.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So I absolutely like where to. Cause I also.
Well, they're not that far away. So they're right now, they're about, yeah, right now they're about 2 hours outside Nashville. You know, I've been up there and nobody's, oh, you guys been up? It's like,
Yes and no, yes and no.
it's not, it's much bigger. It's not as, you know, I wasn't, I mean, it was nice, but I wasn't really impressed, like, you know, this is.
Yeah.
She's, her wedding is at, Lake Lure, on the wall, so that's, you know, that's for the east. But
I think that's great. Yeah, good for you. No reason to mention it.
Yeah, that's right, I started telling her, that's part, you guys are coming in, it's like, this is great, that's great. Oh, you can't stop. No, you can't. You can't stop.
You're consuming life.
No, and they just look at me, you know, like, we just die.
Like, what are you doing?
No, you have,
It's,
yeah, once you stop doing things, then you're done there. You have to, you have to stay active, you have to, your body, your mind.
take that,
Yeah.
that would help. Yeah. It's all the same. It's- these things, Yeah, you see, so that's.
Well, did you never know, did you never? You know, it's gonna be, and.
Right. Needless to say, that's my association with Florida. You retired, moved forward, and
Florida's not my, Florida's not my thing. I like my seasons, and, you know, Mid-Atlantic, you're gonna get your seasons.
Just a little more month. That's all.
Just a little bit more money.
They go a little later in the year and a little earlier. Yeah. But yeah.
So I want to keep the place up in Southern Cal.
Good stuff.
So,
Yeah, that's perfect.
so we have a summer house at my house. So we didn't do that.
Good.
Yeah. I wanted to sell it, and I was going like that. Where's my husband, and they said, I can't.
We got it here in July.
I told my sister, we sell that.
In my house. I know, but then I go,
No, not ready to give up their memories. They were raised up there. My husband,
well, there you go.
on that, like, been in his family, been up there since they're 5. You know,
That
so,
makes
and,
sense.
you know, we got married, we bought a place, now my kids are there, so to them, it's like, you know, we're getting rid of our memories. I'm like, no, I want to take your memories with you. But, I think our owl's working at us. Yeah, so, yeah, so we'll be around. It's fun.
Yeah. That's okay. In high school. I wanna go in. I like it. I'm like, I must be doing something right, but
Yeah.
raises a kid who doesn't want to be like.
Well, I mean, well, not that, I mean, you know, a lot of kids just want to get out of town.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not exciting. Parents or, oh my, they just want to get out of town, they want to experience something new, and you know, that was one of the reasons why we really encouraged our kids to go in college. Because they knew their experience, and they come back ready, but they didn't. Well, I mean, they did, but they didn't, and, you know, some kids come back and, you know, they make this stuff, you know, their home.
I just, that's the interesting thing. I like that one too. I certainly didn't share that. I ended up coming there. I didn't at the time. I was like, there you go.
And he was very happy, and his parents are happy, you know, you know, he's got a great job, and it's just.
That, you know, like, it's- and then it's like, but if it's just like, you know what?
Oh, yeah, he'll be able to look at it by himself nice.
Right now, get that hand and understand. Too far.
So, yeah.
Like, better be a good housemate.
Yeah, he would be. He's a good
Like,
kid, he's a really good
like,
kid.
like that lawn better get mowed, you know, like those things that happen, you know.
He's got a great job, and it's, you know. Almost home.
It's tough for kids right now, it's not exactly,
Well, there's no real reason.
an affordable community either.
That our generation, like, kids to the west, there's no real reason to have to. I mean, I think, and maybe that's the reason why, you know,
Come back around.
come back around and.
What is it? Wait. It's kind of.
That's just. Very good. Teach my mom. She's lots of.
Yes.
Lots of.
You see, and master attitudes, you see the.
Yeah, you do.
Love it. Thank you.
That's why this local law, it's gonna be, it's really gonna almost the regulations. Accessory dwelling. It's gonna be. Oh,
I mean, the way we get started, wow, that's the thing. And you can call it.
And that, and it's one more thing. That's.
Because many people like trouble out there, you know, if they're in their house, you know, associated somehow that they try to.
And we actually, we put food, kind of food. What we're doing, the regs really changed in there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good, you know, so it's really done.
Make the potential future affordability.
And it's gonna increase permanent housing, because, you know, SDRs. That means can't have it for short term, because they're, you know, it's the purpose of creating, well, because you have housing. So if you allow that, that's the purpose of creating additional housing.
And kind of has all the fears people had all those years ago, I think. If you let people use it like that, yeah.
Right. Well, it's good. It's a good thing I want people to build to come, because right now you can't build to come in if you don't have that existing at the front. You can't do it, and it's like, oh, have 1,000 square feet, whatever. You know, so at 1,000 square feet, we'll let you add another 150 square feet and have. A small apartment.
Because people off at the grain pot.
Yeah, yeah.
The grain pot. Just bring your
Yes, yeah.
average set up, it's a great accessory. Right?
Problem with the and the things that fall at my door. That's why you can't make that. You know, you can't use that, you have to give it that general
Designation.
definition as the medical is. This granny can live. What happens when granny goes, when you're not carried down?
Entire down,
So for zoning purposes, yeah. It makes it, but yeah, so it'll be nice, we'll be able to do those things.
We encourage the use of it because you have a tax consequence. right?
Well, they're actually looking at some kind of tax incentive, but it doesn't go, that wouldn't go along with the. The zoning law, that has to go, they have to do that under the tax law.
Gotcha.
I started this one, so I finished this, but I'm not doing that. But that has to have the tax, law.
Okay.
So that's one of the different sections. So. Yeah, it's policy, so, but we want to get this through first, once we get this through, then, you know. I think we work on that, we can work on some kind of tax incentive for this. Then all those that are out there, they're gonna start saying, well, hey, we got that, and she has a tax break. You know, they come forth with a tax break and say, well, this is illegal. So that's when you start catching all of the, yeah, and all the ones that have.
Hey, I ask for forgiveness as opposed to permission.
You don't worry about that, but.
You're here and you're retired?
Right,
How you doing? Yeah. See, what are you guys up to? Parents, how are you, sir?
Pretty good, how you doing? I'm just trying to make sure that they will. I think you got on the agenda.
It is on the agenda.
Yeah, no, court officer.
Court officers.
Court clerk, that was huge.
Court
Yeah,
officers.
it's court officer.
What are you doing?
I had done the
Yeah, didn't you retire in March? Says so right here.
March 29, they never, apparently they never accepted my resignation. But no, I had said that I would see this change and this level of through,
Okay.
so I'm just volunteering my time to what's done.
Otherwise, she's.
Yeah, otherwise, the checks are starting to roll in, it's kind of nice.
Oh, don't say that.
Just wait, just wait.
I hear you a lot. You'll love it.
Someday. Right, so what are you working late for?
I-
Were you just working out, were you?
No, I had to go up to the Ulster County Public Safety Legislative meeting.
Well, let me guess, were they talking about school safety by any chance?
No, there were a bunch of
It
resolutions.
was a nightmare, huh? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, you saw the video.
Which one? Is it online or?
I don't know.
I might have access to that.
There was an assault in Kingston.
I didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
That chiefs like this would likely suggest that, they're, because of the way the bill was enacted, one of the loopholes to this is that gangs will now pressure the 17-year-olds, juniors in high school, to commit the violent acts according to the article in Freeman. Just like. They're going to jury for a little bit longer, you want that sweet spot of 17. So you can get out a year later. Right?
What is it, adolescent offender?
Yeah, but so let me ask a question though. 'Cause here's
That's what they would
if
say.
that were to happen, when the kid comes out, does the kid
I
get
just administer it.
whatever?
Apply whatever the law is. But you're.
What do you mean?
You apply it for your name.
I
don't have an opinion. I know. I mean, you can find that makes it life easier for you that you can't. So what they do to just.
Because it comes out.
Does it look like, and then do like this,
You know.
forces you not to have too many opinions.
So it's like.
My daughter has an 8-year-old son.
I try her to not be
In the
involved
South,
in
which is
policy
really-
advocacy and.
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately, it's like, that's between y'all, crazy, you know, I think it's all between y'all, right? You know.
I mean,
They have state law.
If you, I'm using partial word.
Yeah.
Once they're out, and if they're found exonerated, there's like district community itself.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we please so much for the content and stuff.
Makes you.
Yeah, they're 21. They'll have
Yeah, you've been here all this.
I am.
As long as anybody can tell me someone with your law. It's served and that's just out.
And he only goes there because that's where he's the only.
Schneider was here.
One base.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't remember.
Replacing center.
He was a professor. I
Yeah.
think he might have got here.
I apologize, everyone. See you guys later. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Have a good one.
Good. Now, without getting too personal, what part of the century are you talking about? Have you been here since? Well, I was born in 68, so. Okay. You were here before Bush Center. Because I think Bush
I
would
would
say, our house was built and we technically moved into New Paltz from Clintondale. In 74, 75 was. 75. That's a good long time. Yeah, yeah. That qualifies me as sort of, maybe not born, but certainly raised. Yeah, yeah. Raised in New Paltz with all the history.
You lived here longer than you lived anywhere else. You know,
That's
time, then I think.
Counts.
you can.
Exactly. No. And Mandy Elaine is, but.
And I don't mean because you don't. Place, I mean, you know. Years of.
Well, no, my longest time was, because again, you live here when you're in college, but you don't because you're in college, so I was up in Ithaca for. But so I still had the whole, still.
Yeah, it's still home.
Yeah, do you really know your college town when you're in college? You think you do. You think you do, but no, I know the campus, I knew the campus for sure. Then, and then you're living, and it was during law school in my mom's old house. That was before she left IBM. She sold in 94, transferred out. So then I call myself a man without a country. I would come, back from Washington DC, I'd stay with, whether it's Paul Neal or whoever, any of my lifelong friends, I would just crash at their place. My house was gone. So, so I still consider myself to be an impulse person, but then in DC, city. Well, Tim Rogers doesn't count his New York City time against his. He and I were both kind of overlapping. Yeah, I can remember helping him down. Have you been financial sector? No, Tim would have been born and raised. I just want to say he was. Yeah, yeah.
You guys are, there's friends that are really good.
What about between the two in age?
I got my friend.
I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session and a motion to authorize the canvas for the Ulster County Civil Service account clerk list as a replacement for the clerk in the building department. Second. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. We're broadening our search.
I see that.
We have another resignation.
I heard.
So And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And motion to authorize items 3A through 3F on the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And motion to approve the hiring of Raymond Miller as court officer. You guys want to have a discussion about this first?
Did we
Yeah.
not, did we not?
I
do
just
this?
wanted to-
G as well on the
Yeah.
agenda.
Which one? G.
G.
First.
Okay, that was added. Oh, yes. Motion to authorize item G on the consent agenda. Thank you for
Second.
catching that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes, that was added today.
Mhm.
So let's go to 5 before we go to 4.
Mhm.
And Rhett, if you want to say anything.
I appreciate the time. I want to thank you all for having this placed on the agenda. It is a priority action item as a result of, we had some notices put in that we're going to be losing some of our court clerks. I mean, court officers, I should say, and you know, they fulfill a vital function for us and for everybody who has to come into the justice court. And so finding them, given where our salary structure was, something needs to change. I hope you guys are going to give it consideration. I certainly am hoping that you'll approve the hire of the new court officer as he's desperately needed. And I, again, want to thank you guys for considering it. I trust it'll go through. And
so
I think
we've
the
had-
last time it moved up was a decade ago,
Oh,
something
at
like
least, yeah.
that.
So we've looked into it. It's been at this rate for, I think, at least a decade. You know, we recognize that you guys are having problems with this. And we kind of talked about this, and one of the ideas is that, you know, we have a 3-hour minimum right now. So if court is like 2.5 hours, they get paid for 3 hours at $18 an hour. When we go back and look at the court hours, it's pretty rare that it's less than 3 hours. Sometimes it is, but, you know, I'm interested in saying, okay, let's just do 25 an hour. Not many of the other courts, if any, are doing the 3-hour minimum anymore. And so, you know, we don't have that minimum for other positions unless you get called in, you know.
And I think that would help us really become, you know, competitive in the marketplace where we might be able to attract some more qualified court officers. You know, the professionals that we have are exceptional. What everyone has done to this point to make sure that we were functioning throughout COVID and now at this stage has been remarkable. We are apparently going to be losing one of our long-serving and sort of the supervisory court officer, Scott Schulte. He's going to be greatly missed.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Okay, yeah,
he's
he
been
does the
crucial.
majority of the hours.
He's been a crucial component for us. So I hear that he's potentially got another position that he's going to be going, and we're losing another one.
If
So-
we raise it, is it possible we would keep him?
My understanding is this other type of position is going to take him into a different area, so he might not be able to. He's always been, you know, available for us and really sacrificed a lot of his own personal time. You know, it wouldn't shock me if he does continue to try and help, but no, it's my understanding that that change is there. So, you know, we definitely do need to be able to attract some people. And I greatly appreciate you guys considering, greatly appreciate the time and all the effort that you guys have put into helping and listening to us to keep us going. You know, I think I've mentioned to Neil that, you know, we are kind of back up and running with, you know, volume. So those issues will keep bringing them to your attention to be addressed so that we can make sure that we're administering justice the way we are supposed to be. Last, I want to thank you, Dan, for all the service. You are going to be greatly missed in this community. And, you know, I want to recognize you for all the effort and time that you have devoted to the town. So appreciate it. Good night, all. All right. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
So,
Hillary should also be recognized, although, you know, she looks.
well, we're
We're gonna do that.
we've never put it on the agenda before 60. I don't know if you saw that. We're like, because Gene was looking for it and I'm like,
You were just gonna not do it.
I was a little worried about that. I didn't know if that would affect my retirement or not.
You would. All right, well. let you-
and so why don't we have I mean, if you guys okay
Yeah.
with having the starting rate for court officer, or the standard rate for court officers changing from 18 to 25.
Mhm.
I'd like to make a motion to have the court officer salary rate be $25 versus 18. We can
Second.
raise it up. All in favor?
I just wanted to, sorry, a little discussion. If we, so is it prorated if,
And actually no more 3-hour minimum.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
is it?
let's make a motion to
Can I
amend the
ask a question
motion.
before we?
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
in case there's
It's
more?
it's not backwards because these are hourly. So I think that's going forward, it's going to be $25 an hour.
Mhm.
But there is no retro for this.
What I mean
That's
is,
my understanding.
if if it's 2.5 hours, is that, then a half hour, so a half of 25
Yes,
for that third,
yes.
yeah, okay, that's one.
Yeah.
And so every 15 minutes, we should put a,
I think it's probably in the contract already for other things, right? It's like
Okay.
standard 15 minutes.
I can tell you, well, we always went by,
Scale up or down.
The 8 minutes, so if you came in at, where's the clock, let's see. If you came in
Right
at
behind you.
8:08.
Yeah.
It was 8:50,
Right.
Yep.
Okay,
you know,
Way
or if you
towards.
came in at 8:05, it was 8 o'clock,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so we went by the quarter hour.
Mhm.
so,
So we by the quarter hour.
yeah, we'll do I mean, I think
You can, you know.
we would do the standard, the same way we do it for the other staff. So,
and I can't remember if there's someone who was at salary would immediately jump.
the
Is there
court,
some-
the current court officers, when they show up for court next
Right.
Tuesday,
Mhm.
it would be 25 versus 18.
Or Ray Miller, who thought he was getting 18 when he applied for the job.
Yes, and so if we hire Ray, he'll be hired at 25.
Very good. So-
Yeah, but it's comparable to the pays that are being done throughout the county.
Yes.
If you look at them, they range anywhere from 22 to 28. So it's very much within that range. So it makes sense, especially after such a long time of not raising it. It's
Yeah.
going to attract people that we really need. So, yeah.
Because we have,
Mhm.
the person he mentioned is probably leaving,
Yes,
and then was there someone else leaving then?
yeah.
But
I
there's
mean,
still
there's
someone
been
remaining.
turnover. We've had lots of turnover.
Yeah.
So should we amend it then to say that there would be a time? No. What were you saying, Julie? That's the
Just-
25 an hour.
I was curious
but-
about
okay,
what
I guess that's.
what part of an hour, how did you determine
Okay.
parts of an hour?
Fine.
So I don't know if we need to get that detailed in what we're talking about.
I don't think so. I think that's kind of it. That's like a standard, like across the town.
That's
So
fine.
I think, it's just $25 an hour
Mhm.
with no minimum 3 hours. So
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
And how about a motion to approve the hiring of Raymond Miller as court officer at a pay rate of $25 an hour?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, throw it.
And number 6, motion to authorize service contract for the generator at Ohioville wastewater treatment plant sewer 6, an annual agreement from May 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2024, in the amount of $543.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And so now we're at the public hearing yes, to
Other
repeal.
business.
Okay, so motion to approve the resolution to repeal section 140-17 accessory apartments of Article 3 of Chapter 140 zoning of the code of the town of New Paltz and replace it with a new section 140-17 accessory dwelling units.
Second.
Because- And we did close this public hearing.
No, we're setting the public hearing and we're going to declare
Sorry.
lead agency. And then we're gonna,
Set a
if
public-
people have any questions, Stacy came tonight.
Mhm.
I think, she's worked with Joe.
Yeah.
Kind of included the suggestions, the comments we've made. We'll have the public hearing in 2 weeks.
Right.
But Stacy was kind enough to come. I don't know if you'll be here in 2 weeks, right?
I will not be here in 2 weeks, but I can tell you that the changes that were made since
sit
the
down.
last time I was here.
Mhm.
We incorporated the changes that were requested by the board,
Mhm.
that I received emails for. We're at 45%. We went to the maximum of 900.
Great.
Okay, Joe did make some changes in the language, more legalese.
Mhm.
The penalties mirror those penalties that are in our rental registration, which is good.
Mhm.
Because it keeps the continuity there. So those are the changes that were made. In regards to the issues for incentives, that if the town board wants to look at incentives, tax incentives for these type of units,
Mhm.
that's something that can be done. And I believe it has to be done in the tax, under the tax law, not in the zoning law.
Mm,
So you
right.
can continue to discuss that. And that can come after this. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to, come at the same time. But that's where that would go. That would go into the tax law.
I have a question about the minimum. What did we determine would be,
350 was the minimum.
what I mean is, we don't want them to be Airbnbs. So we want to just. set
Yeah,
a
that's in there. That is also in there that there is a
Minimum
there's
rental
30
period.
30
Okay.
days.
The people could rent for 30 days. And
They
then,
have
but
to
no
rent for
less.
30 days or more, no
Yeah.
less.
Great, I love that.
So,
I didn't
well,
know.
because if you allow these to
Yeah.
be short-term rentals,
Mhm.
then you take away all the effort you're putting into creating new
Mhm.
housing for the housing shortage. So,
But
it's-
but it also allows for someone, let's say, someone needs to leave a house quickly. And needs a place just for a month,
Mhm. That they
You
can
know,
rent it out. for-
or obviously 2 months for the summertime.
Yeah.
oh, sure, it's the issue isn't the long term, the issue is the short term.
I know,
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where that issue comes. But yeah, any questions, anything else that we've?
I'm very excited about this. I think I'm really hoping that this is gonna help with the housing issues that we have. I think, I think it's gonna make we hope a big difference with people having,
Well,
you see it all the time, people looking for places to live and having nowhere to go.
I wonder if we could have like a forum where we help people who are considering doing this, talk about the issues related to building.
Yeah.
That are today, whether there's certain materials, if lumber is incredibly short supply, for example, or just networking to help that, like, that's a kind of incentive in a way, it's a way we can facilitate something that we think would be really good for the town.
Like an
Where-
information and.
Like a forum,
Yeah.
get together, and advertise it, say, here's where, maybe have presentations by people,
I'm
like.
kind of hoping that,
Yeah.
like, this is not happening just in New Paltz. This is like, there are multiple
Yeah.
towns. And that maybe, a developer or an architect will say, I'm gonna kind of focus on this, and I'm gonna market as like, hey, if you want to put in an ADU, like, we'll do the design, and we have the contractors lined up, and
Mhm.
we'll do it,
Yeah, have a company
take the
that's
whole thing,
interested in that.
right?
That would
And-
be great.
Matching people with contractors.
I see that as potentially happening once this market is clear.
Yeah.
Right, and once you start seeing the ADUs pop up everywhere, and hopefully we do.
Yeah.
That people will say, what, just reach out to this firm and they do ADUs, right?
But
And I think there's a lot of potential.
There's a lot of potential, but I do agree with you, Julie. It would be nice to have sort of a, 1 or 2 meetings when this is first passed, where we can say, have people from building
But
here.
do we know
But
any
I
of
was
that?
thinking the
You know what I mean? Like,
community-
like,
That's a really hard thing to do because,
Yeah.
materials are ever changing.
Yeah.
Okay, and prices are ever changing. So that's kind of
Mhm.
a hard thing. What's I think real promising with this local law is that we're now allowing people to build
Mhm.
to accommodate, where we currently don't allow you to do that.
Right.
And that makes all the difference in the world.
Mhm.
yeah, I had come into the office yesterday.
Mhm.
They'd heard about this, and because they talked to the building department, and they were like, the current law is like holding me up. And I was like,
Mhm.
well, good news for you.
Right. And all the information, so let's say people call the building department and they want the information, they
Mhm.
will be told all the details of the size.
Right
months,
now, it's all on the website.
It's on the
right?
website,
Because,
okay. That's,
and
I guess that was my
so
question.
to
Yeah.
right now,
Mhm.
because when we set the public hearing, the law and everything else is up on the website right now.
Mhm.
Been up since yesterday,
Mhm.
24 hours in advance for open meeting law. And, my guess it'll be up there for a while, and people can read through, and all of what we're proposing
Mhm.
will be in there. And if people have comments or thoughts on things we should or shouldn't change,
Mhm.
we'll hear about them at the public hearing in 2 weeks,
Right. Okay.
but I will say, has been, Stacy's been working on this for a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
This,
it's actually longer than that, but then we've had to pause and, you know, I was working on this back with, who's gonna shoot me?
David.
David, you know, so this was back
Yeah,
a
I
while.
remember.
And, you know, we just,
Yeah.
for reasons, busy reasons and stuff in the office, we just had to put it to the side. But, you know, most of the questions I get, I'm buying a house. I want to build a small house for my parents. Can I do that? No, you can't. So that's the most promising thing about this. Plus, we let
but
them
now
know,
you could.
but now with this local law, you would be able to do that. And we're at a maximum of 900. The county was pushing 1,000.
What do you mean?
So
Feet.
900
square
square,
feet.
maximum square footage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you still have your percentage,
Mhm.
okay? You can't have 1,000 square foot home and build a 900 square foot apartment. Okay, it's still based on that 45%, but the larger homes can have up to 900 square feet.
Mhm.
And the county was looking, you know, the county was pushing 1,000, so we're close to where the county wants to be, and I think that's good.
That is good.
Does the acreage also matter?
Not anymore.
Mm.
Okay, and it also takes the cumbersome out of having to go to the planning board
Mhm.
for approval. The building department reserves the right to send it to the planning board if they find there are challenges on the lot. But the acreage, we pulled all that out.
And what if it means taking down trees? Is there any restrictions in there?
Well, you still, no, there aren't any restrictions in regards to taking down trees. Okay, there aren't any restrictions in regards to building as far as taking down trees to begin with. Unless it's an approved site plan or a subdivision, and unless it's you know, all those things go away once you have a building permit. So there's no, we don't really have those type of restrictions in our zoning, to my recollection.
Mhm.
No, I mean,
You
because
know,
like, you know, people can, if you have a tree on your property, you can cut it down,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, no, I mean, like, what if you're cutting 6 acres of trees?
I think you're still allowed to do it. It's your property.
Once you have a building permit,
Mhm.
the clearing and grading law is not effective. Okay, I think the clearing and grading law may require you to maintain a 20-foot buffer on your side lot lines.
Yeah, and that hasn't changed with this. You still have
No.
to have the setbacks from your neighbors.
Right.
You can't just
Right.
like put a house right next to your neighbors and be like, I can do what I want,
Right.
right? So we're still trying to maintain the setback so you can't impinge on your neighbor's rights.
Right, this does require, for parking purposes, this does require some form of, buffer between the neighbors. So if, you know, I'm gonna be pulling, if I'm gonna create an accessory apartment and I'm gonna have my parking here, my light's gonna shine over there, the building inspector is gonna say, you need to have a fence, and you need to put up a living fence or something. You need some kind of buffer for lights,
Mhm. Which I thought was really good.
you know, so that is included in this.
So this will be open for,
So in 2 weeks, so we have to declare lead agency because I missed that here. So, but then we will set a public hearing.
For the 18th.
Did I miss it on here? Maybe I didn't.
May 18th.
May 18th, yeah.
Mhm. It's a big.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, set the public hearing, May 18th. And we'll declare lead agency, then we'll set the public hearing.
Mhm.
And then hopefully people will come, and I've only heard positive feedback so far,
Me
but
too.
we want to make sure that we hear
Mhm.
whatever people have to say, but
So do we vote
Go ahead.
on this?
No.
no, yeah, we're
No.
gonna.
Oh,
Stacy.
I just want to clarify your question.
Mhm.
The bulk table doesn't change. So you still have to have, you know, 65% open space. You still, none of that changes with this local law. Okay, so
I don't have all those things
So
off
you-
the
you-
top of my head.
no, so you can only develop 35% of your lot.
And that includes cutting down.
What doesn't include cutting down, but it, you know, it includes any. It includes any buildings, pavement, things of that nature. So it's
So
still,
theoretically, if someone had 20 acres, I'm coming up with random numbers. They could take down all 20 acres of their trees right
with the
now.
exception of the requirements that were put into place with their subdivision. Okay, when the lot was subdivided,
Well, what if
It
it's not
depends on-
subdivided?
well, at some point, it's probably
Oh, okay.
subdivided. And if not, then the clearing and grading, I believe, requires a certain buffer. I think it's a 20-foot buffer, maybe on the side lot lines.
Mhm.
And maybe 50 front and rear. I mean, it's maybe not 50. The street, well, that doesn't even do it either. There really isn't anything in our code that I recall that you're becoming exempt from those requirements if you have a valid building permit. For any building. So if you built a house, you wanted to build, if you had 20 acres of land and you wanted to build a house and you got a building permit to build a house. Unless there are other regulations, other, approvals that require you to maintain certain, you can cut enough to have a lawn and a pool and, if it's an ag district, have a barn and, a yard for your horse. Yeah, there's nothing that.
I just wondered about, I remember the clearing and grading laws, and I wasn't sure how it all,
There are exemptions in there.
Mhm.
I think some of the exemptions are for valid building permits. But most of the regulations are under the subdivision regulations, the approval of the subdivision map. And generally, the planning board requires a certain buffer. But there's nothing in there that says that, you have to have, you have to keep 95% of your trees. No.
All right. Well, any other questions or? I
Did we
appreciate
second them? Did we approve? that?
No, I gotta like make a motion to
Yeah.
approve the resolution for lead agency and set a public hearing for May 18th, 2023 at 7 PM. And to set the local law to repeal section 140-17 accessory apartments of Article 3 of chapter 140 zoning of the code of the town of New Paltz and to replace it with a section 140-17 accessory dwelling units. That's it.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
All right. Great. Thanks, Stacy.
Did you set a public hearing?
Yeah,
May 18th.
May 18th, 7 PM.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be available May 18th, so
That's
I
fine.
won't be here for that. If you keep the public hearing open and you have any questions for me, just let me know after the 18th.
All right.
Just shoot me an email and I should be back last week.
Nice. Yeah.
Enjoy your.
And so now we motion to accept, Stacy has already hired, but we didn't put it on the agenda, even though I thought we did, like the last time you were here, I thought we talked about it, but
Can we say no?
we, I don't know, I don't think you even realize how important someone is until they're gone,
Yeah.
and with you being gone the last few weeks, I realized how fabulous you were. So thank you.
Stacy, thank you for everything. You've been amazing. Really, really. Everyone that I've talked to is just, she's not there, it's like the president stepping down.
That's okay, no.
you're leaving big shoes.
You're living, yeah,
I've
exactly.
just been here so long, there's,
Yeah.
historical knowledge is
We know.
is sometimes irreplaceable, it is
Yeah.
irreplaceable.
Yeah.
But as far as everything else, you guys will be just fine.
Mhm.
And then Department of State is coming down with new regulations
Yeah.
in regards to training, so they're requesting that the length of time it takes for a BSI or a CEO to get certified be shortened from that year to 6 months.
Right.
But which makes it a little bit more difficult, however, everything is online, so it shouldn't really be a problem.
Mhm.
But they're also looking to accept nationally recognized programs, which is a big plus. So if you have someone in the South that has certification in ICC,
They can move on.
yeah, it would be, the
Makes sense.
reciprocity, thank you, is a good thing.
Yeah.
So, I think they're looking to make some good changes, but there's a shortage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
people don't know that it can be a career.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
hopefully they'll change that.
Let's hope so. Well,
Okay.
thanks,
Thanks.
Stacy. Be well.
So motion to accept Stacy's resignation as building inspector with the town of New Paltz effective March 30th, 2023.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have another resignation, Jasmine Towers. Motion to accept her resignation as building clerk for the town of New Paltz effective May 3rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Could I give this to you? I
Yes.
forgot to give it to Jean. That would be great. And then, oh,